change going to look like, Don? What practically your father as president, I think you would even say, was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor. They went after him in every which way possible. If the media actually starts being an honest broker, talking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now, I think you do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration? In which
you know they
Get
didn't
him.
do that, sir.
Sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait.
48 hours.
And with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
And he said in a nice way when he really could have said some other things.
And then this is crazy too. So like Fox is covering this because the media is trying to downplay the assassination. I cannot stand it is absolute, and the title's called Absolute Stupidity, and that's exactly what that is, absolute stupidity.
President Biden sitting down with Lester Holt in a primetime interview on NBC tonight, just days after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. But take a look at these headlines from the mainstream media downplaying the severity of what took place. The Washington Post, quote, Trump leaves rally after loud noises erupt. That's not a joke. Neither is this. A CNN article that was taken down.
That's so
reading,
whack.
quote, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally.
Oh, my
Another article that was taken down
gosh.
from Forbes reading, quote, will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters?
Joe Concha
Wow.
is a Fox
Wow.
News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, surprising, but also at the same time completely predictable. What's your reaction to those headlines?
Whack.
I mean, after what we saw this weekend, Carly, Todd, what we saw that played out live in front of the world.
Look at that bullet.
The former president, and likely in terms of, you look at the odds, you look at the polls, future president of the United States, nearly being, his head nearly shot off on live
had to be
television.
turned just in.
This should have resulted in the kind of objective, unbiased coverage the country deserved in this historic, nearly tragic moment that you saw unfold on your screen. Some outlets, however, they failed that test miserably. I mean, you look at the headlines, right? You talked about that CNN headline, but also the Associated Press, quote, Donald Trump has been escorted off the stage during a rally after loud noises ring out in the crowd. Yeah, loud noises like, you know, gunshots, where you had Donald Trump stand up with blood on his face and on his ear 1 minute after this happened. And their initial reporting is that it was loud noises. That's
Right.
what caused that. How about the New York Times? Trump hurt but safe after a shooting. No, you utter hacks. It wasn't a shooting. It was an assassination attempt.
Yes, it was.
ABC News, Sunday morning, George Stephanopoulos, quote, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well. And then Martha Raddatz says, absolutely, George. And let's remember January 6th. I mean, this is 31 flavors of absolute stupidity. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, the president, said there should be a, quote, bullseye on Donald Trump, unquote.
Wow.
He said that on July 8th, 1 week before this happened.
That's wild.
He spoke last night,
Wow.
boilerplate comments about unity in a teleprompter. It had no authenticity behind it, and then he shuffled off without taking one question from the press.
Yep.
So that's where we are at this point as far as the temperature in this country and the president trying to calm it down after he only raised it up for the last 3.5 years, calling not just Donald Trump but his supporters extremists that needed to be stopped. Well,
those were their words.
One person got the message and tried to stop Donald Trump at that rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday.
But when it comes to those media comments, I've been reading a lot of the Babylon Bee, which is a satire site. And the fact that you can read the Babylon Bee's headlines and read the headlines that we just read in that anchor introduction.
Night and day.
And you can't distinguish which one is which. That is absolutely horrific on the part of the media. And it just underscores how unserious I think they are at times and how much hatred they have of President Trump at times. Joe, the fact that those headlines came out is absolutely shocking. But there's something else that you said. It is this blaming by George Stephanopoulos, Martha Raddatz, on Republicans that somehow they are responsible for the horrific images that we're seeing on our screen. Jen Psaki going a step further, calling on Republicans to change their rhetoric and tone at the RNC, or they will actually face retaliation after the shooting. Listen to this.
The convention is starting, and unless the programming changes, the rhetoric and how the programming is set up is not actually calming the tone or restoring civility. For anyone out there who has a platform, who thinks the moment right now is to be political and attack the other party, you are feeding into the danger. You are making it more likely there's retaliation.
Your thoughts on what she said, Joe?
This is the same Jen Psaki, Todd, who is part of the biggest cover-up in American political history as far as saying that Joe Biden literally is great. His memory is fine. He's Stephen Hawking behind the scenes, right? This is the same Jen Psaki who literally claimed that Republicans are for defunding the police, the same Jen Psaki who kept telling us that the border was safe and secure, the same Jen Psaki who over and over again said that Joe Biden was basically Christian McCaffrey as far as his physical and mental abilities are concerned. A guy that, was more energized than the energized Bunny himself, and who knew foreign policy better than Henry Kissinger. So I don't want to hear a thing from Jen Psaki when she played a whole role in covering up Joe Biden's cognitive abilities and negotiated, quite frankly, while she was press secretary, getting a huge deal from MSNBC, which was a big no-no. So sorry, Jen. Don't really want to listen to you. Go back to band camp, quite frankly.
Not band camp.
An interview with Lester Hall, NBC News, later today. It'll air tonight. We'll see how he does, what he says on the assassination attempts, and also the calls for him to step down. How quickly that has fled the news cycle. But that's still going on.
Yeah.
Joe, got to leave it there. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Isn't that so interesting that there are not that whole thing with Biden has silenced? Have you noticed that? We were on the verge, and it was a big old conversation. It was a big media talking about even his own party. Like, you need to step down. This thing happened. It took all the heat off Joe. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe comes back all rejuvenated, and because they had enough time to take the heat off him so they can do the work on him while this coup has been created.
They can try to do a work all they want. They can give him all the drugs and liquid medication via, through your intravenously. They can give him pills. It's not going to rejuvenate nothing. He is where he is, and based off the diagnoses he's been given by medical professionals, he is on the decline. So there is no rejuvenating what? Look how slow he walked off stage. He ain't gonna be no improvements with him. It is what it is.
How we know they didn't buy him time by doing whatever this was?
You cannot buy brain deterioration time unless it's an act from God. There is no reversing certain brain disorders, diseases, degeneration. There is no, you can't do that. That's why you see these people that have diagnosis of these certain disorders they slowly decline because they can't be reversed. So how is he gonna go from the decline to a reverse? And it would have to be an act of God. God ain't pleased with this man.
I ain't talking about like that. I'm talking about where they.
No, but that's what I'm saying. What are they going to do to be able to pump him up? Nothing. His true self is always going to show up where he is now cognitively. They can't reverse that. They can't change that in a matter of a pill or something given to him intravenously. They can't change it. If so, why would they would have already done it?
But you see how that conversation is so silent on him because it's so focused on Trump right now. But it's going to, and what that does is I've realized that when you have a height of something, right, that's really heightened, and then something else takes over and heighten. And once the second thing that's been heightened calms down, they don't go back to the first heightened thing. They move forward on something else. So now he can look past his disability.
No, it's
but
not.
it's going
to look past.
Yes,
it
is.
No one's going to look past the diagnosis he has. Nobody's going to do that. Maybe the line left.
I'm talking about the heat. I'm talking about the heat and the energy that was put on it right before this happened with Trump.
I don't think so. Now people are going to be zoomed in more than ever. That's how I feel. Now it's all really unfolding.
Yeah.
How happened this? I mean, and the way the media is covering this is some of the media is whack. It's so stupid. And some of the things I've seen on social media in regards to conspiracy or it was a fake. I mean, how you gonna fake that? Who in the Sam Hill will want to
only
fake
liberals only
that?
talking about that's fake.
And I'm
only
like,
liberals.
how stupid and ignorant is this? I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? This is really a joke. You can't really be meaning this because I just can't.
Only liberals talking that fake jive.
And I said, Snapper, you have grown, because the ungrown Snapper would have really let leash and sliced up some folks with my words. Because it would have just been that's exactly how I felt, and so many of us, when we saw this happen on Saturday, we couldn't even believe our eyes. Everybody's heart who truly support him, our hearts was racing. We was screaming, about to cry, rooting for him. So it's like, and then you have on the flip side, you have, ignorant, evil people.
Evil. That's a good word.
Are
evil.
Are wanting it, to be opposite or thinking it's a fake. I was like, I can't even entertain that.
These are the same people that
I cannot even.
These are the same people that fought hard so that babies can be unalive. These are the same people that fought hard so men can play on the women can play on the men's sports team. These are the same people. That's evil. Same people that fight for the word pride. These are the same people. The same people. That will come down to the nastiness of, oh man, they saying the little jokes like that, and then you know about his attempt that was on him being fake, and then you have people going even deeper and even nastier on these other platforms. So
I know, and then you still have some other content creators. I have not gotten. Hold on a second. I have not. I have, like, on TikTok, there are, I'm sure, some true diehard, some other Trump supporters that are ripping into these people, and I haven't found any, but I definitely want to look for some because they're blasting. But I want to stay on topic. How Don Jr.
Yeah, he roasted.
Went off.
He roasted.
He did his way. Get out of here. He wanted to say a few other things.
The Obama administration,
right?
Talking about, is the one that did
Hello.
that.
So let's just keep it real. We know y'all ain't gonna tell the truth, but I know. I know. In other words, so it's like it's all good. It is all good.
Oh man, boy, it
is all good.
Things are
just as many news articles and stories that are coming out that's leaning left. You got some that's coming out right and reporting it the right way.
That's right.
But the good thing is, people who saw this, you can't deny what you saw, and you can't unsee what you saw. You may want it to be something else. Good and doggone well what it was.
All right, y'all. 2024, be more.
Talk less.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
All right.